We're back for episode 2. Y'all, these episodes are so exciting, and I'm going to give y'all a little hint that in episode 6, I am singing, and I'm super excited. All right, so episode 2, this is our syllabus episode. And by now, you know the drill. We will do a little bit of mindfulness. Our intention for this episode is that we are as present as we have capacity. And so let us go ahead and get started. I invite you to close your eyes, plant your feet on the ground or floor if you're able, roll your shoulders back if you're able. We're going to inhale for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 5, and then we'll do a big inhale and a big exhale on our own without counting. Let us begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do a big inhale and a big exhale. All right, when you're ready, open your eyes. All right, your syllabus. So let's talk about your syllabus. So as I talk about the components, I will have like a slide that gives a demonstration. So for your syllabus, you have what we call the top matter. So you have your course title, your course number, and your section. When you get your syllabus, you want to make sure that you cross-reference your syllabus with your class schedule. Most schools use a website called, or a platform called Banner. And so that is where you should generally find your course schedule, but that's not where you'll generally find your syllabus. But for your syllabus will either be emailed to you, it will be located on your learning management system, whether it's Canvas, Blackboard, Nearpod, Moodle, they're WordPress. There are so many learning management systems, but that's generally where you'll find your syllabus. So back to talking about our syllabus. We're also paying attention to our modality. We talked about that last episode. Then we're looking at our professor or instructor's info. So we're looking at their email, we're looking at their office hours, if they have any other contact information or a way that you can contact them, or even when they respond to emails, you want to pay attention to that. Speaking of email, let's talk about email. So I'm one of those people that's a little funny about emails. I'll tell you why. So a lot of times students would email me and it sounded like they were texting their friends. You don't necessarily want that. And I'm not leaning into respectability politics, but I am leaning into a type of academic language and conversation. So generally with your emails, you want to have a subject that relates to what your email will be about. You also want to, in the body of your email, you want to have some sort of greeting where it's like, dear, greetings, happy whatever day of the week it is, hi, hello, some sort of greeting, and then your professor's name. You always want to have their name, comma, and then you want to write in complete sentences whatever you want to talk to them about. Now you may say, I already know that I need to write in complete sentences. I'm just letting you know that this is not like a text message. And I also encourage you to not use shorthand or acronyms that your professor may not know. The other thing is we want to also be mindful of our tone, that we're informative, clear, kind, and concise. And then we are concluding our email with some sort of closing, best, warm regards, best regards, yours truly, sincerely, in earnest. I mean, there are a myriad of ways you can close out your email, but I invite you to close out your email and then put your name. Let's talk briefly about your email signature, which is usually that body of text at the end of the email. And here are a few things that you can put on your email signature, and I will have an example of this. So you can have your name, major, minor, graduation year, any clubs or associations you may lead. And that'll be just at the very bottom. Next, let's talk about attendance policy. So you want to make sure you pay attention to your attendance policy, whether it's written in the syllabus or on your learning management system. You want to ask, how many absences can you have? How do you make up absences? Is that an option? You also want to ask about excused or unexcused absences. You also want to talk about a tardy policy. Does your professor have that? So continuing with the attendance policy, you also want to ask, and this is a very specific question, but it will help you in the long run should you ever need it. You want to ask about the, what did I call it? The failure threshold for absences. You want to find out how many absences can I have before I automatically fail a course. That is so important. And let's talk about that for a moment. Let's say crisis is set in, completely extenuating circumstances. I would reach out to your dean of students to write you a letter. Now, again, it's not 100%, but that letter will really support you and you'll be able to get as many services as you can to complete the course. Let's talk about participation expectation. So that should also be in the syllabus or in your on your learning management platform, or you should have this conversation with your faculty member either one-on-one or when they're going over the syllabus, if they go over their syllabus. Participation expectation. You want to find out how much interaction is expected. Are you expected to have conversations with your peers through a discussion board, through small groups? If you're online, through breakout rooms? Are you expected to talk most classes? Is your grade tied to you talking? Are you expected to be prepared for quizzes? There might be pop-up quizzes. Whatever that looks like, you want to make sure that you're very clear. So we only have 2 more things. So let's talk about your major assignments and late policy. So you want to review your major assignments, and even if you don't have all your detailed course calendar or all of the detailed instructions of your major assignments, you generally want to find out what are the major, what I call rocks in your course. So what are the things that anchor your course? The other thing you want to also ask about, if you don't see it, is late assignment policies. Now, you have some faculty members that they do not accept any late work under any circumstances. Then you have some faculty members who will let you turn in work late all the way up until the exam or up until the time that grades are due. Whatever that policy is, you want to make sure that you're informed. And I will say this. Let's say some of these policies you don't agree with, you don't like, you don't want to do. I will say this. From a student and a faculty standpoint, part of the college experience is that we are signing up for a process. What I invite you to just shift your thinking a little bit and really think about, you are signing up to be a part of this experiment. It is an experiment, if you will, but this experience with this faculty member. And one of my supervisors shared this, which I thought was so powerful, and I'm going to share this with you. He said, the thing that we bring as faculty members is our expertise. And that's what you're getting. You're getting their expertise. You're getting their feedback. You're also getting a wealth of new knowledge makers and thought partners together in that classroom. And so that is the beauty of this experience. Of course, you're doing work by yourself, but it's not an independent study. Speaking of that, our last piece is thinking about the tone of the course. What can your syllabus tell you about the tone of your course? Look at the language of the syllabus. If you see a syllabus that has a lot of punitive language that's really talking about, you need to do this, you must do this, you must, pay attention to that. And I will say that there are some syllabi that are written in such a very just strict tone, if you will, and that professor is loosey-goosey. That professor is like, hey, the syllabus is what it is. I come from the school of thought that your syllabus is a guide, but there are some schools and some departments where your syllabus is an ironclad contract. If it's not in the syllabus, you don't have any wiggle room. That's not my school of thought, but we want to be mindful of all of these things. So you're looking at the language. You're also looking at the language in relationship to your faculty member or your professor's teaching philosophy. So again, if you see a lot of punitive language, if you see a lot of bolded language, these are actually rhetorical moves that really point to specific messaging. We don't have time to go into all of that, but just pay attention. Pay attention to anything that says subject to change. That means that there might be some wiggle room in that course. And how does this relate to your course or your teaching, your professor's teaching philosophy? It also relates to fundamentally where your faculty member will feel like, and let me just say this, I will go interchangeably between faculty member, instructor, professor, because there are a myriad of titles. But this relates to their teaching philosophy in a more holistic way. So you have some people who believe that students start from a 0 and it's an uphill battle to work your way up. And then you have some faculty members who believe that you start at a 100 and then you may slowly go down. Now, this might not mean much to you in the beginning of a semester, but if you're watching this episode in the middle of the semester, you know what that feels like, where you're trying to do the best you can and it just seems like, wow, I'm just not quite getting there. Pay attention. Now, that's not to say that you can sway or change the course or how your professor teaches or how they grade, but at least you can be informed. That is all we have for episode 2. So as we say here at Boosie Teaches, in a galaxy of learners, Boosie Teaches lights the way. I'll see you in the next episode.